I'm joined on Your Sports Winner now with High Wycombe Town manager Jeff Roberts. Jeff, good to touch base again with you. I haven't seen you for a few weeks. It's been an interesting few weeks. Last time I saw you, you were slipping down the league from first to second, but in the end, things worked out for you.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this season was about trying to get into the Southern League. As I said, we sort of slipped up the last few months, and obviously the team with the most consistency won the league in the end, and obviously had a good Vars win as well. So, yeah, disappointing, but obviously got a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, which gives us that opportunity to push. Just have to have a sit down with the committee and stuff, and persuade them really to go that extra way really forward. Which I think they all got together, and in the end they come back to me and said, yeah, they obviously want to give it a go. So, yeah, I think it's all positive things for the club to move forward.
Did you think after your performances slipped towards the end, you had one or two defeats, and you went from first to second then to third, did you think you'd blown it, or was you, in the back of your mind, you were hoping that you might sneak in and get promotion through the back door?
You always try and think, hopefully, either Thatcham or Bracknell would slip up a little bit. No, I think we had to. It was down to us, really. Yeah, I mean, I think I've said to you before, it's a lot of players or a few players let us down right at the spur of the moment before we leave and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, that's something we really looked deep into this year. Who we've invited to the club and spoke to some other players about commitment and stuff. So, I mean, it was in our hands, really. We started really well at the start of the season and dropped off. And that was down to, it's not down to just players, it's down to, I think, part of the management as well. Obviously, Drew, commitment went through work and stuff, wasn't with us, and Brown had to work some Saturdays, so sometimes I was left on my own. So we just sort of had a bit of a shake-up this year, and obviously, again, I mean, to move forward, we have to do that.
Fantastic. Now, as I say, I think by Christmas time you were literally 15, 20 points ahead of everybody, and then things caught up with you a bit later on, games in hand, players' unavailability, that sort of thing. It happened, obviously, cancellations, change of the condition of the pitches, and Thatcham, who did brilliantly, went on to win the FA Vars, and also Bracknell Town leaped in front of you in the end, but you managed to still get promoted to the Southern League, and that's because I think you had the highest points out of something like 16 teams in the fifth tier.
Yeah. We finished with the best sort of points per average per game, which took us as the best third place side. I think a lot of that went with I think two clubs up north joined together, so that left a space in the Southern League. So yeah, it gave us an opportunity. We had a phone call from the Hellenic saying that there was a place going if we wanted to take it, and then there was a committee meeting. Obviously, I've got brought in as well. They've gone back, had another chat, and they've decided that we'll have a go at it. So yeah, as I said, we come third. Obviously, eventually got where we wanted to go. Now, obviously, it's just sort of starting to rebuild a bit of a side again and trying to keep a majority of last year's squad as well.
Yeah, we'll come on to player-wise in a moment, and who got your eye on, and who said yes and who said no. But before then, since the season's finished, what other things have been going on? I know that one or two building issues up at the ground, and obviously you've got to meet certain requirements and that. So tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, obviously going up at the ground at the moment. Obviously, there's a sponsors lounge going in, which we've got a glass front to view all the pitch for the sponsors. Obviously, there's a lot of construction going outside, new footpaths going in, new barriers. There's another building going up to the left as you come in. Obviously, turnstiles have got to go in. So, yeah, I mean, we've got to the 31st of March to get it all done. And hopefully next year, yeah, we have, yeah. As long as we get everything done, what we need to by then, and obviously as a club stabilising the league where we need to be, then yeah, I mean, we can gradually sort of again stabilise as a Southern League club and look to go forward in the next few years.
Okay, and one big significant difference that's been announced recently, you're bringing in an old friend of mine, Tom Jones, who's going to help you on the coaching side.
Yeah, obviously Drew, obviously with work commitments, and obviously Drew's just had a little baby girl, so not too sure what his involvement is at the moment. I just thought, obviously, going away forward, we needed to bring somebody else in, a bit obviously more committed and stuff. And so I sat down with Tom and told him about what was going on around the club and what his involvement would be to move us forward. And no, Tom was delighted. You know what I mean, to get back involved. I think it's a great asset for me. It's a great asset for the football club. A big name in around Swindon, who's played for Swindon as well. Great coach. So yeah, I mean, it's a great appointment for us to bring him in and do the coaching for us.
I've got to ask you, player-wise, I know that the date hasn't come yet when you can officially sign any players, but I know you've been busy behind the scenes speaking to most of last season's squad, plus one or two others.
Yeah, I've spoke to most of the lads now from last season, and obviously we want to keep most of them. There's a couple who can't really commit this season, so yeah. I mean, we've kept the majority of them. But yeah, we've been very busy. We've been talking to 7 or 8 players. 7 have agreed terms with us. It's like you said. Obviously, I don't really want to say names at the moment because we can't really sign anybody till Friday. No. We're keeping it to what we got. The intentions this year that we have a young side and with a few experienced players in there. That's it. Our intentions. We've got literally the same budget we had last year, so we have to be sensible. The main thing is just to stabilise the club at this level of football.
Talk about 1 or 2 experienced players. One experienced player that won't be joining you will be Nick Stanley, who was recently retired at the ridiculously young age of 31. But a few words about Nick.
Yeah, Nick I obviously sat down after the season a few weeks ago and expressed my sort of points from last season for him, and obviously with his wife, and obviously Nick's just had a baby as well. He's decided that obviously that he needs to spend a bit more time at home. So hopefully he might change his mind. He might get a bit bored on the Saturday afternoons now, and might get a phone call from him. So yeah, I mean Nick's been a good lad. Yeah, I mean he's very down to earth. He's been training most times with us. So yeah, I mean hopefully give him a few months, he might be knocking back on the door again. Yeah.
Now, looking at the Southern League for the forthcoming season then, Supermarine obviously have gained promotion, and we'll touch on that again in a few more minutes. But there's a few big clubs in there that you're going to be up against. One up the road, Cirencester Town, who just missed out on the playoffs at the end of the season. You've got Evesham, who in there as well. Wimborne Town, who missed out in the playoff final. Some big clubs in there with some big budgets.
Yeah, we have to deal with that. No difference to Supermarine, really. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have the big clubs in the Southern Prem. Yeah, I mean, we'll go there. Even though we've come third in the league, we're not obviously in the league just to make numbers up. We'll go there and give what we can. As I said, we're going to have a youngish side with a few experienced players in there. We have to deal, with the big clubs, and obviously there'll be a different, possibly, pattern of football we need to play to compete against them. But yeah, as I said, we're not there just to make the numbers up. I think we'll give most sides a good game on the day.
You've also got in the Southern League West Division that you're taking part in. You've also got 1 or 2 ex-Hellenic clubs as well, like Northley and Slimbridge and Kidlington as well, who did quite well this season. So you're up against sides that you played against before, so you've got nothing to be worried about, I would have thought.
No, obviously, I know Fraser and Rowan have been speaking to clubs, and literally they just said that obviously they've watched us a bit this year and said that we should do okay in it. Yeah, I mean, to me, we just have to stabilise the club really this year. Yeah, I mean, the players we've brought in, or hopefully brought in, are going to give us that commitment. They all seem good lads, so I personally think we'll do all right as a side. As I said, we're looking more to stabilise and keep the club at that level of football.
Now, you've got a few friendlies already announced, and you're going to play, I think, Swindon Town's side. I know you seems to be an annual game every year now. Binfield, I think, is your first one on the 14th of July, so not that far ahead, is it?
No, we start training 2 weeks Thursday. Obviously, Corsham's our first one away from home, which is on the 11th. And then we've got Binfield, as like you said, we've got a Swindon Town select. We've also got a Reading select. We've got Didcot, which will be a tough friendly as well. So yeah, we've made it sort of like 5 out of the 6 friendlies should be tough and a good training session for the lads.
Great, and I've got to ask you, Tom Jones has brought his come out of retirement a few times in the past. Is he secretly thinking he might get a game in one of these friendlies?
Well, hopefully not. No. Yeah, I mean,
still do a job.
Yeah, he most probably will do. Yeah, I mean, Tom, as I said before, yeah, I mean, for me and for the football club, I think he's a great asset for us, and hopefully Tom will do us a job on the coaching side. So yeah, I mean, great to have him.
Now, on the local footballing scene, things are really on the up now. Highworth Town have gone up, as I say, the highest they've ever been in the league structures. Supermarine, of course, have also gained promotion this season. Shrivenham moved up in the Hellenic as well to join the likes of Royal Bassett Town and also Fairford Town. So, apart from Swindon Town, everything seems to be going in the right direction for our local clubs.
Yeah, obviously it's good to see in and around Swindon another sort of like Southern League side, and obviously, like you said, Supermarine have gone up as well, which is great for them. Obviously, Jez has got a lot of movement there, and obviously a lot of ambitions. No difference to us. Obviously, financially, we're miles apart. But yeah, I mean, we'll look to obviously, as I said, stabilise our club and push forward around the ground as well. Obviously, the improvements need to be done behind the scenes. Everybody in the committee, Rowan and Fraser, are pushing everybody there. So, I mean, we're moving in the right direction at the moment.
Great, and of course you got the town of Highworth behind you as well, and there's a big tournament coming up this weekend. Hundreds of kids coming up to the ground to take part over this weekend, so lots to look forward to. You've also got your 125th anniversary celebratory night out up at the De Vere soon. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, obviously it's the 125th anniversary of the football club, so obviously there's an evening meal with a band and at the De Vere. I think Fraser's wrote to a few Premier League sides, and we've had something back from Arsenal which should go for auction. But yeah, I mean, it's a massive fundraiser for the club, and obviously to go 125 years is a massive achievement, I think, and we're just trying to push the club as far as we can go.
Now, with all this going on, I know that quite a few of the players locally have had a chance to pop away, have a few days in the sun and that. I know you run your own business as well, but have you had a chance to have a break yet, or is that not happening at all this year?
No, I did. I obviously spoke to Tom, and obviously we're going to be training 3 times a week for the first few weeks before friendlies start kicking in. I did say to him that obviously I'll be there for the first 2 training sessions, and I've been told I've got to go away on holiday by the wife, so she likes to usually go away a bit later in the year, but obviously July and August are the busiest times. So yeah, I mean, a couple of weeks' time and I'll be heading away for a few weeks break, then it's full steam ahead then, really.
Fantastic. And just last of all, we're going to be asking a few of the local managers in the next few weeks their thoughts. World Cup only days away now. How do you see that going?
It'd be great for England to win it. Yeah, it really would be. I mean, the Germans are always there and thereabouts. Yeah, it'd be great for the country to win it. I think it'd be a massive achievement, and potentially they can. It's again, football's a funny old game. It's all on the day.
So I've got to push it. Who's your tip if it's not going to be England then?
I would say the Germans would be too far apart.
Right. Okay. Be nice to beat them on penalties in the final, though, I suppose.
Yeah, it'd be great. I know they've won the last few, so yeah. I mean, it'd be nice for England to get there. To be honest, I think the country deserve it.
Brilliant. Well, on behalf of your Sport Swindon, we'd just like to officially say well done for your promotion to the Southern League this year, and look forward to more future coverage of Highworth Town with you.
Okay, thanks very much, Nick.